Well, hey everybody. This week we're working on something a little bit different, the baby changing station. So we already had the dresser put together, just pre-bought that one and assembled it. But we want to make this wall here work really well. So everything's got our fingertips, but also nicely secured to the wall and cleanable, you know, in case anything goes flying, which I'm sure it's gonna go flying. That's just kind of a given at this point. So we went around and around on kind of where we want the shelves, how we want the shelves built, what else we want to put up there. And we couldn't quite figure, you know, a solid plan out. So came with the next best thing, doing a French cleat system. This way we can have the foundation built with some shelves. And if we decide that one shelf's not working very well, we can alter it or make a brand new one and then decide that placement there. That we're not stuck into one design here. We can evolve it over the years to see what we like the best. Well, this is a pretty simple process. I'll take you to the shop and kind of show you how to get the foundation set up, and then we'll go make some shelves for it. All right, y'all, let's get to it. I went to my local hardware store and picked up some furring strip, 1x4. First step is to cut it down to length, setting the stop blocks at 5 foot. The gravity-fed dust collector has been working pretty well, but at some point I need to build walls and a roof for it. My goal is to get 2 rails out of each piece. I'm going to measure to get as close as possible, and then hone in with some test pieces. Well, looks like the 4th time's a charm. Time to cut the rails. I'm using high-grade furring strips, so the only place I need to sand is here on the edge where I took the saw to it. Next, I'll score a line down the center of the front face. This will do 2 things. It will line up the holes for when I pre-drill them, and second, it will give a nice dimension to the front of the board. To finish the boards, I'm going to give them some color. I'm using Danish oil and dark walnut. I'll apply it liberally and then wipe off the excess, leaving it plenty of time to dry out here in the shop. Alright y'all, so here's our first hanger. It's the back side, will never be seen. This little screw on a little wedge. And then we'll do this. Awesome. Well, now time just to build some shelves. With the baby coming, I want to be as frugal as possible. So I'm using some old cedar I have laying around from the old raised bed in front of the house. I'm going to cut the pieces down to 12-inch wide. These stop blocks sure come in handy for this type of work. Cut after cut after cut, getting the same length. I'm getting the stop block in place to cut my 1x6 furring strip. This will be the back plate of each shelf. The cedar wasn't quite long enough, so I cut the 5th one down to make it a space from the back. Now it's just time to glue them all up. I'll spread the glue evenly on both pieces, then wedge them together with the clamps, making sure they're all in plane, and finish up with 2 screws in the back. And if you ask me, you've seen one shelf made, you've seen all 4. Well, it's the next day and the glue's had time to set up. I'm going to take the clamps off and sand these down. I missed the part on camera, putting the wedges on the back. Nothing special, just put some glue between them, then put 3 screws. The screws are there more for decoration than anything, but hey, screw them if you got them. Look before I sand them down. Notice in the back, I'll get the angle grinder and cut these screws down. Be right back. Well, now to the part of a woodworking project, I wish I really could fast forward in real life, sanding them down. Well, because I just want to be transparent with y'all, and I was feeling pretty lazy and didn't feel like putting my welding clothes on, thought I'd try to make a wood jig, even though I was pretty sure this was going to happen. Yep, this wood is weak. I should have just made a metal one in the first place. Let's go do that. The jig is pretty straightforward, just made of 3 components. Alright, this should be enough to let me bend the metal around into the form I want. So much simpler than that wood piece I spent far too long playing with yesterday. Let's try it out. I start with bending both sides. I go over 90 degrees since I'm just using my hands. I'll then go back and straighten it out. Here you can see I got it square. Next, I'll bend it downwards. Because I'm doing it by hands, I'm going to bend it past 90 degrees and then pull it back into square. After it's all done, I'll mark the height and cut it off with the angle grinder. It's now time to marry the metal to the wood. I'll start by eyeballing the location and marking with the pencil. Before I drill the hole, I'm going to mark the depth of my drill blade. I use a scrap piece of wood to make sure I'm perfectly vertical. And then when I'm done, I'm going to clean it out with my marking knife. All I've got to do is paint it and hang it. Our next hanger is for the mobile. I'm basically doing a cantilever cross here, using a tug and groove joint. I started with laying out the width of the cantilever bar. Next, I'll mark the depth of the cut using the scribe tool. Next, I'll transfer all those measurements to the cantilever bar. I use a square to measure the width of the vertical support, and the scribe tool the depth of the cut. This one comes in very handy to keep the scribe tool set. We'll use a table saw to cut our tongue and groove joints. For these small pieces it can be dangerous. This is where the jigs come in handy. To match the theme of the other shelves, we'll add some metal components to this as well. I'm going to make a hook to hang the mobile from. First I'll bend it around a pipe to get the general shape. Then I'll squeeze it in the clamp to get the width of the cantilever bar. Now we just let it bend over the ends. We'll cut off the excess with the angle grinder and file it smooth. Alright, well here's the iteration, or the final iteration. As you can see, we can move the shelves. We can pick them up, put them in where we want. We currently like this location. We can also just take the drawers out, put them down, put it back up. Mobile moves around. Awesome. Well, thanks for watching. Y'all come back now.